Hey y'all, can y'all see me okay? Okay, perfect. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I was like, why the hell? It went in stick. All right, got it now. Hey. Okay, perfect. All right, so I have YouTube in the middle, Instagram on my left side, TikTok on my right side. I kind of had to do some changes this morning, okay? Keep the feng shui moving, you know? Hey. All right, so let's get into this read. Welcome back to my channel. This is Adana, also known as the Afro-Zen. And today I'm reading for the Handsome and Beautiful Collective here. Hello, Collective. How you doing? Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Yes, you get some flowers. You get some flowers and you get some flowers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. To book a private reading with me or to shop in my store, all that information is in my description box below. Also, don't forget to grab a copy of this book here. It is called Wisdom Beyond Wounds. It was created by me to help and assist the collective with healing any type of traumatic experiences that you may have went through here. So that stems from physical traumas, financial traumas, medical traumas, psychological traumas, mental traumas. I think I said emotional, spiritual traumas, etc., generational traumas. Okay, there's a little bit of everything in this book here. Okay, it's not surrounding narcissism, but I'm learning that there are many different forms or aspects surrounding narcissistic experiences here. So definitely make sure you grab a copy of this book here. It is readily available for purchase on Amazon. Okay. Also, I did leave my birthday list down as well too. So if you feel inclined to get me something, thank you so much. My birthday is November 1st, this Saturday. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about myself. Glad that I'm able to see another year. Okay. So let's get into this read here. So this is going to be a long read today. All right. Channel message is walking through the shadows of death. And I'm going to break that down, of course. Okay. So there are many people or a lot of people or just a single person, however it resonates in your story here. I'm just going to say group. There are a group or a cluster of individuals here that have been intensifying prayers to get themselves out of this sticky situation. Okay. Now, I heard very, very clear and very succinctly in my meditative state, yea, I walk through the shadows of death. That's what I heard. And that's all it kept repeating over and over and over. So I'm like, okay. So I took the liberty of actually finding the actual full verse here. And I'm going to break that down surrounding how the narcissistic individual or group of people are feeling at this time now. Okay. So this is a Bible verse or a Psalm 23:4 verse. And it basically states, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Okay, we're going to break that down. So Normally, when someone speaks this type of prayer or psalms here, is because they may be going through some form of an imminent danger, or they may feel like that they're in some form of a dangerous situation or experience. So some or most people may tend to utilize this particular prayer here to, make sure that they feel very safe, they feel very guided, and they also feel like, nothing harmful or evil is going to either attach to them or cause some form of harm, if that makes sense. But this is what a narcissistic person was saying. They keep reciting this particular verse here because they're very afraid as to all of the changes that are happening here. And it's very funny that they're praying about this or using this particular Psalms here because so this is mainly when they express a lack of fear in times of mortal peril because they believe God is with them. I'm going to break it down. The shadow of death represents any difficult, dark, or frightening time in life, but not just literal death, okay? Um, it can also symbolize moments of depression, illness, or other major challenges, but the verse's message is one of resilience and comfort found in faith. I was just speaking about resilience yesterday, and evil people don't know anything when it comes to being resilient. They don't, because resilience doesn't come from people who are evil. It comes from those who have endured evil and refuse to become it. That's the difference between their definition when it comes to resilience and your definition when it comes to resilience. I'm going to repeat that. There are individuals or a group or a cluster of individuals here that are actually right now currently speaking or quoting a Psalms verse 23:4. Yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? Now, the reason why they are reciting this verse here is because they're realizing that there are a lot of blockages or situations here that is causing them to become very afraid or more so scared because they don't know what is happening. They know what's happening, but they don't know what's happening, if that makes sense. So they know what's happening because they're seeing the signs. They're actually, everything that you stated has completely came true and is still playing out now. So they're completely spooked out by your intense, we'll say, intuition here or your discernment here, because you warn these individuals. You let them know that if they don't change their way or if they don't shape up, a lot of harmful things or harsh realities are going to start to set in. That's fine. Okay. They didn't listen to you, so now it's playing out in this way. So they are aware because you told them what was going to happen verbatim, step by step, and they're not aware as well. That makes sense. So they know that you know what you know. They're confirming that, or they validated that. They would never do that to your face, just more so behind your back. But they're realizing that this is a really severe thing, or this is a very important thing, or this is a very serious manner that they place themselves in. So going back to the Psalms here, it can symbolize moments of depression, illness, or other major challenges. But the verse's message is one of resilience and comfort found in faith. They never had faith in anything, and they damn sure don't have resilience in anything here. Again, resilience doesn't come from people who are evil. It comes from those who have endured the evilness of others or from others, and you refuse to become evil like them here. It's born from the pain that tried to destroy you. This is how resilience is created here. It comes, or it's born from the pain that tried to destroy you, the lies that tried to define you, and the darkness that tried to consume you. So it's kind of funny that they're reciting this verse here. They're very evil in nature, in spirit, and also physical nature here. They're fearing evil, but yet they're evil themselves. They try not to fear evil, but when it comes time for them to look in the mirror or to check themselves, they're realizing that they're very evil in nature and they can't even handle the things that they are seeing within themselves or seeing within the mirror here. So from a narcissistic standpoint here, it can be interpreted as a symbolic journey through their own internal darkness. But unlike someone seeking transformation, which will be you here, the narcissist walks through it in denial rather than awareness. So this is all just a ploy or a play to get them out of a sticky situation that they were they were warned not to do this here. So I actually broke down the Psalms because that's just me. I do stuff like that. So I broke it down here in the valley. So I'm going to reiterate the whole verse or the Psalms verse surrounding what this group of people have been saying here. And they specifically saying this here because everything is just out of control here. Okay. So the full verse is, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The shadow of death isn't a physical mortality in some cases, okay? It's an ego death, okay? The moment their false self risk being exposed. So when their lies, manipulations, or masks begin to crack, they enter the valley, the space where truth threatens to reveal what they've buried. To them, this isn't spiritual growth, it's psychological annihilation because they know that their mind is playing tricks on them. So they feel that the only way, or one of the many ways that they can get out of this entanglement that they place themselves in, is with deep prayers. Okay, granted. How many more times should they get out? Should they receive a get out of jail free card for the things that they are intentionally doing towards others? Let's ask that specific question here. How many more times should they get a slap on the wrist to let them know that they should not be doing the things that they set out to do? Let me break that down even further. Most people say, well, we're not going to say most. Some people have been saying here that they don't know what they're doing. They may have a spirit on them. Okay, let's break that down. Do you think just spirits can just attach to anybody in the way that they want? No, they cannot. They cannot. Spirits require a certain type of, we'll say, either caliber or a certain type of requirements in order for that spirit to become attached to someone, if that makes sense. So I'll break it down again. So let's say for you, for instance here, someone is trying to get you to do something. They're trying to like lay down with you. They're trying to sleep with you. They're trying to manipulate you. They're trying to get you off the beaten path, or more so the golden path in regards to what you should follow here. That's a spirit that's trying to come up against you and is trying to get you entangled into doing a lot of things that you know that you should be doing. That's called peer pressure. That's also called manipulation in many different ways, if that makes sense. So let's say that for most of you guys, you decided that you're not going to do what this person or this entity is trying to get you to do here. Well, you made that decision. You were very intentful, or you had a lot of intentions or positive intention to ensure that you're not in a space, or you don't fall off the path, or you don't put yourself in a very dark spiral of a space or situation, if that makes sense. Them, on the other hand, when someone comes up to them and may try to peer pressure them to do something, yo, you should take this, or you should do this, and you should do that. In the beginning, most cases, they may start to become apprehensive, or they may start to kind of like, they may become indecisive. And the reason why they're becoming indecisive is because they know that at the end, if they get caught with what they're doing here, they know there's severe consequences to their actions, which is why it causes them initially to become very indecisive or unsure if they should do it or not. But again, this is where the peer pressure comes in. The spirit of peer pressure comes in, and that person or that entity is now trying to keep pushing and pushing and pushing them, forcing them to do something that they know is completely 100% wrong. And then they finally decide to, oh, okay, all right, okay. They finally do it here. Well, now you cook it. Now you got action. That spirit, that low vibrational spirit, was very successful in ensuring that they were able to attach to someone that don't have a mind of their own, that is not strong-minded within their mind, their mindset, their mental space here. They're very easy to succumb to the darker aspects, or we'll say the deadly sins of, whatever, however here. They accepted it and they went ahead and they did that there. So yet again, I understand, I hear when people say, Well, they have an entity attached to them or a spirit attached to them. An entity just can't attach to you in any way, shape, or form. There's a law when it comes to those things here. And those individuals went against the law, the spiritual laws, yet again here. And because they were so easy to become susceptible to these darker spirits here, they obliged, they agreed, they confirmed. And this is why the spirit or spirits were able to attach to them here. So going back to what I'm saying here, the valley as exposure for the narcissist, the shadow of death isn't physical mortality in some cases, but in this case here, it is. It's ego death, okay? The moment their false self risk being exposed, when their lies, manipulations, or masks begin to crack, they enter the valley. Where is the valley? It is the space where truth threatens to reveal what they've buried. To them, this isn't spiritual growth, it's psychological annihilation. Does that make sense? Everybody has the opportunity or choice to open up many portals. Whatever portal you decide to do, that's totally up to you, because you're going to have to live the life how you see fit. Everybody going to do something a little bit different. But if you know that someone is trying to entice you, alcohol is a form of spirits. Yes, it is. Paraphernalia is also another form of spirits. There are spirits in many different ways, shape, or form. And some may have succumbed to the spirit of alcoholism or the spirit of paraphernalia, if that makes sense. Some people fall to the spirits of lust. Some people fall to the spirits of greediness or gluttony. There's so many different spirits out here. I can break that down, if that makes sense. So again, to them, it isn't spiritual growth, it's spiritual annihilation. The next one is the shadow that they consider, the shadow is their reflection. So the shadow represents all the parts of themselves that they've disowned. Yes, that's why they need other people to come around them, so that way they can feel comfortable in the shadows that they keep trying to thwart away or push away here. So the shadow represents all of the parts of themselves that they've disowned: shame, fear, inadequacy, and also envy, jealousy too. Instead of confronting these shadows, they project them onto others. When they walk through this darkness, it's not a healing journey, but it's a fight to avoid accountability. The narcissist shadow becomes everyone else's fault. Let me repeat that. When they walk through the valley or the shadow of death, the darkness, it's not a healing journey, but a fight to avoid accountability. The narcissist shadow becomes everyone else's fault. So yet again, I'm going back to the verse, the Psalm verse that these individuals are saying, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The shadow of death represents any difficult, dark, or frightening time in life. Okay? It can symbolize moments of depression, illness, or other major challenges within a person's life. But the message is one of resilience and comfort found in faith. So even though they keep stating this particular verse here, they don't have any resilience. They never had resilience. Why? Because resilience doesn't come from people who are evil. Resilience comes from those who have endured evilness. Big difference. So them saying this prayer, and I'm going there, yes. Them saying this prayer is just a waste of time, because the reason why they're saying this particular prayer here is to get them out of the foolishness, the outlandish foolishness that they place themselves in. That's it. That it is. That is what it is. That is the answer. That is the truth. How they gonna say they don't fear any evil, but they're evil themselves? If that makes sense, they literally are the epitome of evil. The things that they do are very evil spirited and evil minded, if that makes sense. Okay, next one. Death as the fear of losing control. What they fear isn't death itself, but the loss of dominance, image, or admiration. To them, death means no longer being the center of the narrative. Their entire survival, hear that, let me repeat that again. Their entire survival depends on illusion. So when reality closes in, they weaponize charm, they weaponize guilt, or they weaponize chaos to resurrect their power of survivalness. Does that make sense? The next one is delusion of invincibility. Just as the verse says, I will fear no evil, the narcissists convince themselves that they are the light in the darkness. The righteous one, even as they destroy. Let me repeat that. Just as the verse say, I will fear no evil, the narcissists consistently convince themselves that they are the light in the darkness, that they are the righteous ones, even as if they destroy. That doesn't make sense at all. Their belief system is that it is okay, or they're very justified in trying to cause whatever type of harm or callous harm that they can towards you, whether it's a physical harm, a financial harm, a mental harm, a psychological harm, a spiritual harm, a verbal harm, an emotional harm, however it resonates here. They misinterpret survival as proof of being or feeling superior, never realizing they became the very shadow they claim to conquer. So I'm going back to the Psalm verse again. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They're looking for comfort for something that they placed themselves in. You didn't place them in this because you're not doing any of this towards anybody. So you don't always have to quickly fall down into a prayer because you're not looking for, we'll say, you're not looking for repenting, or you're not looking to, you're not looking for forgiveness from this higher source, a higher power here, because you ain't doing anything to anyone, if that makes sense. Again, the quotes, the Psalm 23:4, the shadow of death represents any difficult, dark, or frightening time in life, not just literal death, but in this instance, literal death is here, of course. It can symbolize moments of depression, illness, or other major challenges, but the verse's message is one of resilience and comfort found in faith. They feel it's okay to cause harm towards others, whichever way they decide to do it. And then they can run and hide behind a verse or Psalms, verse here to just say that, and they can get this, what do you call it? Get out of jail free card. And they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. They cause harm, they cause havoc, they cause chaos, then they pray about it. They cause harm, they cause chaos, and then they pray about it. They cause harm, they cause chaos, they cause havoc, and they pray about it. This is all that they do. So when is enough enough? That's the real question here. When is enough enough? Well, enough is enough now, because now they have to face their evil tendencies. See, there's a balance to everything. This whole world runs on a cycle. Yes, what comes up must come down. What's at the bottom is going to be at the top. It's a cycle of things. And because they're so adamant and they're so passionate in stating this particular verse here, well, now it's showing up in a way that it needs to show up, not how it wants to show up, in the way that it needs to show up. They don't fear evil. Okay. Well, now that evil is right in front of their face, because they keep saying they don't fear evil, but why is it that every time when they're being shown themselves, they can't face themselves? These are the ones that keep saying that they don't fear any evil, they're not afraid of anything, and whatever. But when it comes to them, they can't face themselves. Make it make sense, man. Make this make sense. What exactly are they resilient about? They're the one that's causing the evil. They're the one that's very intentful or intentional when it comes to the evil things that they're doing here. So what exactly are they doing here? It's all a ploy to just say words. And as I mentioned to you guys before, most people who are living in a space of survival, all they have are words. And those words are very strategic, or very detailed in regards to what they say or what they're planning to say towards other people to ensure they can continue to survive. This is why most people do the things that they do, because of surviving or survival mode. You, on the other hand, you're not going to be surviving. You're going to be thriving. Big, big, big difference. Huge difference. Huge difference. They need to use their words, or the only thing that they have are words. And they have to use specifically what they have to continue surviving. They had an opportunity to get out of survival mode and to more so be in a thriving mode or a thriving stage or a thriving state of things. They refuse it, because with thriving comes work. In order for you to thrive, you have to make the necessary changes within yourself to ensure that you could be in a thriving space or a thriving state or a thriving environment in your world, your life, your reality, however it resonates for you. You want to thrive? Then change the narrative. You want to thrive? Change things that no longer serves you for your highest good. Do different things so you can see different results, so you can see changes towards the results that you're trying to put in. Does that make sense? They can't do what you do. That's where the resilience come in. They don't know a darn thing when it comes to being mature. Mature. Thank you. Being resilient here. Yes, and being resilient also brings forth a huge spoon or a huge bout of being mature. Absolutely. So, and Stamps 8802 states that on Instagram. He states being mature. Yes. And with resilience bring forth a lot of maturity. They don't have that. So again, why are they praying? Why are they using this verse? Yes, I'm going there because too many people want to use something or someone or someplace to get them out of survival mode just to be put back or to remain back into survival mode. It's a broken cycle of foolishness, of self-foolishness that they place themselves in, not you. So yeah, I'm going to go there. I'll be respectful, of course. But I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. And I darn sure don't think it's fair that someone can feel very justified in causing harm towards other people. Again, maliciously, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, financially, emotionally, physically, etc., etc. And the moment that they get caught like the deer in headlights here, now they want to go pray about it. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Because this ain't making sense to me. It is what it is. It's not making sense. They're saying they're not afraid of evil, but they're afraid of themselves. And they're trying to they're trying to psych themselves out that there's no evil around them, but the evil's within themselves. We got plotting and we got confused here. They are so confused by all of this here. And this is why they're feeling the wrath of the same energy or same source that they're calling upon. The same energy or same source that kept giving them time after time and opportunity to change their nasty ways. Time after time, you were even sent in and connected with this person to ensure that they changed their nasty ways. They said no. Okay, that's fine. So now they confuse. These are the ones that love to call judgment on other people. Okay, let's break that down. Someone that's coming up against you and you see them for the filth that they are. And you be like, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, that's not right, whatever the case may be, right? They're very quick to call judgment on you, which is very odd because how you going to call judgment on the collective when we're able to see past or see into the filth, if that makes sense? So if they want to call judgment on you, well, then judgment has to be called on them. Again, everything that you do represents a cycle, everything. You put one foot forward and you put the other one next. That's what it is. It's a cycle. Everything you do, it's a cycle. So if they feel that you should be harshly judged, okay, fine, no problem. You shouldn't have nothing to worry about because you ain't doing anything wrong. It's that simple. Well, then they should be okay with feeling harshly judged as well too. And this is what they plotted to do, but yet they're confused. How are you confused? They say in Psalms and Bible verses and all these different things, they're praying to get out of harm's way. They're writing manifestations and mantras and stating mantras and all these other things here. But then when it finally comes in the way that they did not expect for it to come, now they want to be confused. Confused about what? Make it make sense. Confused about what? uh, if anything, yes, come on, spirit, you bet. Come on. If anything, they're very irresponsible when it comes to spiritual nature, religious laws, spiritual laws, whatever the case may be. I'll just say occult knowledge is what I'll say. I'll say occult knowledge because that could be spun in many different ways. They're very irresponsible when it comes to occult knowledge or occult information because they feel that the occult information or the occult knowledge should be switched or more so just cater to them by any means necessary. Okay, they want to do all the negative things, but don't nothing negative better come back towards me. And yes, I said it in that way for a specific reason. Okay. All right. There's a lot of double, but anywho, they do that on purpose, specifically and especially on purpose here. It's like, well, they can get a free card out of jail to do harmful things towards themselves and other here, but then they become very irresponsible. The hidden agenda here is they want to skew the lines in regards to, we'll say, occult knowledge. I'll put it in that way. Occult knowledge here. And they want to dive deep within this occult knowledge here, which is the hidden agenda here. And while they're being irresponsible, that the moment that you see them for who they are is a moment where they try to flip it on you or plot on you. And it didn't work again, which is why they're so confused with the aura. CONFRUSED. Confused. Yeah, this is why they so confused. So they're not fooling anyone but themselves, okay? Hey, Christopher. Hey, Chad. Hey, Brian. Hey, y'all. Make it make sense, okay? Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, so transition is here. Yes, come on, spirit. Transition and intuitive here. So things started to shift when you realize the cracks in their lives or the cracks in their faulty foundation of themselves. That's the shocking message here. So because you, of course, initially you may have been shocked by the turn of events, or you may have been shocked by the messages or the knowledges that you were receiving in regards to this group of individuals here. It brought forth a big bout of self-doubts when it came to them, not you, to them. They created, or they always had self-doubts, but I feel like it more so coagulated, or it grew even more when you were able to see past what they were trying to hide from you here. So the transition in the intuitiveness, you were transitioning into becoming intuitive or more intuitive, or your intuition has been heightened or is heightening, if that makes sense here. And they weren't expecting that. So they had to pretend that something was off with you, that you weren't right in your head, that you had some form of a mental instability here because you divorced them. It could be an actual physical divorce or just a divorce of a connection. You went your way, your separate way, and they, you try to go your separate way or disconnect from them, but they never wanted you to do that here. So the hidden agenda here, because they're irresponsible with occult information, and occult knowledge here was to, well, if you're by yourself and you're the only one, it's easier to just push you to the side here so they can continue this so-called ploy or plan in trying to cause chaos amongst other people, or we'll say innocent people here, and it failed. I'm going back to my notes. The verse that I heard specifically in my meditation, I heard a lot of people crying as they were saying this, or as I was in meditation. The full verse is, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. It can symbolize, or the shadow of death represents any difficult, dark, or frightening time in one's life, not just literal death. It can also symbolize moments of depression, illness, and other major challenges, but the message is one of resilience and comfort found in faith, and they don't have neither. They don't have any of that. They don't have resilience, and they damn sure don't have faith. From a narcissistic standpoint, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death can be interpreted as a symbolic journey through their own internal darkness. But unlike someone seeking transformation, the narcissist walks through it in denial rather than awareness. They ain't fooling anyone but themselves, child. The shadow of death isn't physical mortality, it's an ego death. But for them, it's going to show up as a physical mortality because they can't handle what's happening to them. But you warned them, and you warned them, and you warned them, and you warned them. So it's out of your hands. You did what you were supposed to do. Could be a Capricorn, however it resonates. You could be the Capricorn going through this, or they could be the Capricorn doing this to you, however it resonates. We also have frenemy here. So again, however it resonates, okay? However it resonates. So you may have a Capricorn frenemy that is very weak, weak-spirited, or weak-minded because you saw right through them. Could be a Taurus. You could be the Taurus, or they could be the Taurus. However it resonates. They do their harm, they do their evil, then they pray about it. Then when they get the okay to fix up themselves or to get another opportunity to change the narrative, they go right back, but even deeper into their darkness, their evil of darkness. And then when they get caught again, they get back to praying again, only to get out of the situation that they placed themselves in. Enough is enough. Hiding something is in reverse. They can no longer hide this plan or hide this ploy. And I'm going to go a little further as well, too. Again, please keep in mind that this is a collective read. It's not going to resonate for everybody, okay? I need to make that very clear, okay? Now, what I'm going to say is not for everybody. I'm specifically speaking about the ones that resonate with this. I need to make that very clear, okay? Now, for some of them that tend to go to church, not everybody, just the ones that do it, okay? These are the individuals here that would try to say some kind of something, project something onto you, and then when they're feeling bad about it, do you know the reason why they're feeling bad about it? It's because of the guilty conscience that they have within themselves. But because most of these individuals live in survival mode, they have to do what they have to do for themselves, and they don't care at what cost that they're willing to do to ensure that they're able to continuously live in survival mode. Again, you guys are not here to survive. You're here to thrive. I need to make that very clear to you guys. You have got to get out of that survival mode. Yes, most people may have experienced living in survival mode. Okay, that's all we can say moving forward is okay. You don't have to argue. You don't have to fight. It is what it is, because most people will fight you for wanting to stay in survival mode. So the real question here is, are you able to get out of survival mode and get into thriving mode? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. And if you're able to answer the question yes to yourself, then that's all that matters. You have to allow people to just be who they need to be. Just let them be. Will they get it? Some will, some won't. Some won't. But the most important thing is, do you get it? That's the most important thing here. So I say all that to say here that these individuals, so this will go for like a family dynamic here, a mom, a brother, a dad, a sister, uncle, co-workers, friends, ex-lovers, ex-spouses, whatever, however here. But whoever, however resonates in your story here, these are the type of individuals that will cause some form of harm to you here, and then they'll go pray about it to get out of the harm that they caused to you. Then once they get the okay to get out of the harm that they caused to you, they're right back at it over and over again. But the more that they keep getting back into the cycle, the broken cycle of survivalness here, the deeper they step into that pit of surviving. And then they're scratching their head and they're trying to figure out, well, why? Well, I mean, I prayed about it and, I manifested about it. I stated my mantra, I stated my affirmations, I prayed about it. Well, why am I still in this dark space? Because they keep putting themselves there. I don't care what background you come from. I'm going to keep saying it. Don't matter what background you come from. There are laws that you have to abide by, spiritual laws, whatever your background comes from. There are consequences to everyone's actions. That's the law of rhythm, law of correspondence, etc., etc. Everybody's background or walk of life is slightly different here, and that's fine. But you cannot try to cause evil or try to cause harm towards someone, and then when it stick back to you, then you're upset. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but that's okay. What is not making sense now is soon to make sense now. So that's all right. Now we picking sense out of nonsense, and that's okay. So what they're hiding, or what they were trying to hide, is that they were trying to do occult things, darker things, or secretive things, and that could be spun in many different ways here. And they did not want you to know what they were doing here. But yet again, the moment that you realize what they were doing and you see their whole ploy and their whole blueprint, you're like, oh, that's it? That's what you're doing? And they get upset. But why would they get upset if they weren't doing it? It could have been family. However it resonates, please, okay? Oh man, goodness gracious, child. It was all for control. Like, it don't have to be family. I'm just going by what the cards say. Take it how it resonates in your story or your experience here. But they were trying to control you here, but more so control you from a spiritual aspect of things. And that could be spun in many different ways for you guys here, okay? Resilience doesn't come from people who are evil. It does not. It never will. Resilience comes from those who have endured or experienced evil. You went through something traumatic or harsh, or whatever the case may be. You realized what it was, and you made a vow to yourself that you will, number one, you won't change into something evil, or to turn like them to do something evil, or to continue the trauma surrounding evilness. However that resonates for you, you decided, despite you going through the evil things or experiences that you went through, that you're still going to be a great person, not even a good person. You're going to be a great person to yourself, and that shows here. So yet again, resilience doesn't come from people who are evil. Resilience comes from those who have endured evil, experienced evil, and refuse to become it. That is the difference between you and them. They don't know a damn thing. They don't know a flying fart of what it takes or what it is to be resilient here. This is why they keep trying to ensure that they can control you, to weaken you by trying to get you to succumb to do certain things, to fall underneath the guise or the line or the guidelines of being evil. And again, evil can be spun in many different ways. You won't have to take that how that resonates for you here, okay? The valley, so I broke down the valley, the shadows, and also death. For a narcissist, the shadow of death, it's an ego death is what it is. The moment their false self-risk being exposed is when their lies, manipulations, or masks begin to crack. They enter the valley. What valley are they entering? The space where truth threatens to reveal what they've buried. To them, this isn't spiritual growth, it's psychological annihilation, which is why most people, you haven't realized that when someone do something evil or when someone do something very negative or very harmful, the first thing they do is call upon a higher source or a higher spirit. You don't realize that? You haven't noticed that? That's the first thing they call for. Why are they calling for it? Because they know what they did. They knew exactly what they were doing. I'm going back to what some of you guys have been saying. Well, yeah, they've been attached to spirits and stuff like that. Again, discipline. There's order when it comes to spiritual things. And a spirit can't just attach to you unless you have, or you have the requirements or the qualifications that that spirit is looking for. So let's say, for instance, if you're not a drinker, but there's a spirit of alcoholism around you, someone is offering you a drink. I mean, you have two choices. Either you accept it or you don't accept it. And if you don't accept it, well, then it's going to be hard for you to succumb to that spirit of alcoholism. Does that make sense? The same for sex. If you're not a lustful person, if you're not out here being open with your body and things of that nature, it's not going to affect you. So then that spirit can't attach to you. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. The ones that are caught up, not all, but the ones that are caught up, they confirmed or they accepted something, and because of the vibration or the frequency that they were in, it was a match for them, for that spirit to connect, for that spirit to attach. That's why I keep saying, these people don't know what they're doing. They always saying just to say stuff, but it just doesn't make sense. It's completely hogwashing rubbish in regards to what they say. You can be like, what? You said what now? That doesn't make, shut up. That don't make sense. Oh, you know what you're talking about. Okay, clearly. There's many different types of spirits out there. It is. Spirit of gluttony, spirit of laziness, procrastination. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And most of you guys, for the ones that resonate, you didn't succumb to what they were trying to get you attached to. But once you release that energy or that spirit from around you, it won't affect you in the way that they think that it should. If that makes sense. Again, you're dealing with individuals that are very nonsensical in nature. They don't make sense. And the things that they do, the things that they say, it doesn't add up, is what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. And a lot of it came or comes from trauma. Yes. Sometimes these spirits attach to people who may have had traumatic experiences. Yes. Some of you guys went through traumatic experiences, but you didn't allow these things or these experiences or circumstances to control the outcome for you. You control the outcome because you made a decision. Whatever that decision is, you made the decision. And it's showing up in a very positive way for you. So again, I don't understand, and I'm going there. I don't understand why people tend to cause some form of malicious something towards others. And the first thing they want to do is pray about it. What are they praying about? What are they trying to manifest or speak a mantra or affirmation? What is the outcome of this? To get out the situation, for them to just place themselves back in the situation. It's a cycle, it's a hamster wheel of surviving, because that's all they know. That's all they think is out there. And that's not true. Especially for you guys that experience survival. You've experienced surviving, now you're going to experience thriving. And they can't see that, they can't understand, or they can't fathom the idea that you were successful, or not even soon to be, I'm going to put you as such, that you have been successful to get out of surviving. Now you're thriving. Does that make sense? It's like karma. It's like karma. Do you know what karma is? Karma is the action of the consequence of what a person do or say. That is what karma is. The person's actions decides if they're going to get karma or dharma. That particular single person. That is what's decided in regards to how things are going to play out. And because they decided not to listen to what you had to say, not to take heed to the warnings that you graciously gave to them, okay, well, now they're here. Okay. That's it. Okay. Okay. Which goes back to, they have no one to blame but themselves. They made the decision. They had options or they had choices. They may not have thought that they did, but that's still a choice that they made. Yes, there's always choices to one thing. There are many ways to skin a cat. That is the absolute truth. All of us here, all of us want to be successful in some way, shape, or form. We're all different in our unique, beautiful, or handsome way. That's the honest 100% truth, right? Okay, so we all want to be successful, but we're all going to take many different paths, or there are many different paths that you can take that is going to make sure that you're going to be able to be successful in whatever it is that you're wanting to be successful with. Everyone's success story or success outcomes is going to be slightly different. They don't see it in that way. They think that success only comes one way, and that is not true, which is why it is imperative for you guys to be open to thinking outside of the box. That's where success comes, outside of the box, not inside of the box. Let me repeat that. Success comes outside of the box, not within a box. You don't box yourself in to be successful. I mean, if you want to spit it in that way, okay, cool. But if you want to be wildly successful in whatever it is that you're wanting to succeed at, you need to think outside the box. Things thrive outside of a box, not within a box. It's like you have a plant. You know, I'm going to use plants as an example. For me, I grew 3 green peppers. I put 3 seeds in like a rectangle side box. I didn't know anything about gardening. I just started it this summer. And I got a lot of good lessons from it. I realized that my green pepper, I have 1 green pepper that grew pretty, I'm gonna say about maybe it's like the size of my palm. And then the other 2 are slightly small. I realized that I could not overcrowd the box, and this is what stunted the growth of the actual pepper. Had I've known beforehand to have their own separate space or box here, well, then I would know, because that was outside of the box, if that makes sense. It's not cramped up with any other things, if that makes sense. It has its own space, its own lane to grow. Then my abundance of that actual pepper would have grown even further. That makes sense. So that was one lesson that I learned, and I'm going to flip it. I'm going to, use it as a catalyst, as a teaching moment here as well too, is that it is best for you to be in your own lane. You are the seed. You are that unique seed. And everybody wants a crack, literally, at this unique seed that makes you you. They don't care what they got to do to get to you to ensure they're able to crack open the components that make you uniquely you. And they're going to do everything possible. Once they crack it open, they're going to take out the important parts of the actual shell in the middle, which is you here. They're going to utilize that, throw away the outer shell here, and then you just kind of have to figure it out on your own. No, you need room to grow in order for you to be successful. You need to thrive in order for you to be successful, not survive. That makes a big difference between you and them. So now they're in bad luck here because all they keep doing is perpetuating the cycle and staying in bad luck. That's all they keep doing for themselves. How is this your fault? This is not your fault at all. Bully is in reverse. How they're going to try to bully you? Bully you with what? Well, what, verses? Bible verses? With mantras and affirmations? I mean, it doesn't make sense. So you didn't do anything to this person, and this person know you didn't do anything to them, so they're going to pray on your downfall? I mean, that's kind of odd. Why would you be praying on another person's downfall when they don't rock with you? Again, make it make sense. They don't make sense. So to be honest here, it was very illegal for them to even do this foolish thing towards you because it wasn't warranted. It didn't have to be this way. So we got jealous here, and that's what makes them jealous, or they have a jealous streak against you or towards you here. Could be a Leo, however it resonates. You warned them and told them if they don't stop, That is going to be some things they're going to have to pay for. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course they're going to say you don't know what you're talking about, because clearly they don't know what they're talking about. You're speaking very coherent information. You're giving them coherent, succinct, information here, and they're saying, oh, I don't know, you're talking about, oh, they talking crazy, they this and that. But the moment that it come true, now they're heartbroken. Now they're heartbroken. Come on, man. Make it make sense, man. Some people literally spray on you because you see past their BS. Do you hear that? Some people will prey on your downfall because you see their violent, wicked ways. And they feel like you have no right to see those parts of them, those violent, wicked ways when it comes to them here. Could be a toxic family. Maybe you have a family with someone and they're very toxic in nature. Again, however it resonates. We got Cancer here. You could be a Cancer, or they could be the Cancer sign, okay? Or someone may have Cancer, or they were cancerous to your being, or to your well-being, or to your growth, or to you thriving. Yeah. They were cancerous to your well-being. And they knew this, which is why they got mad when they got caught. That's the silent guilt, or the deep guilt they have within is what's making them react in this way. Say anger. It say anger. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, man. Why they don't want you to see that they are, we'll say, abusing occult knowledge in this way? Because the moment that you find out, or you are aware that they're abusing occult knowledge, is the moment that things start to shift or change. And these changes or shift that are happening, they can't understand it. They can't comprehend it because, again, all they've been doing for the majority of their life were surviving under false pretenses, under illusion. So if you break free, what is that? Break free? I don't know. Break through or break free of their manipulations and illusions. Oh, wait, no, wait, no, wait, I need my illusions back. No, wait, no. Now you're going to start to see the real them starting to fall apart. The anger is here. Now you're going to see Reptar in its full effect. Because if you take that from them, they don't have anything else to fall upon or fall on. Enabling. Most people utilize their survival skills by having other people enable their foolishness, however that resonates. Specifically, and especially the ones that are causing harm towards other people. Again, it don't have to be physical. It could be financial, mentally, spiritually, verbally, psychologically, etc., etc. If they don't have something that they can fall back on, they're going to fall. The foundation was never sturdy to begin with. It was never real to begin with. It was all nothing but illusion and lies. And you was like, shing. You cut right through that MF for shing. And I don't like that. All right, Three's Company. All right, Three's Company, we have abusive here, and this is where you start to see the abusive parts of them starting to show its ugly head. It was always there, but the illusion is not there anymore. So if there's nothing to hide them from their illusions, of course you're going to see everything the way you need to see it, not how you want. Sometimes you may want things that doesn't play out in the way that you want for it to play out, but sometimes you need things to play out in the way it needs to play out, so that way you can make better choices or have better options for yourself. The more options you have with life, the more successful you're going to become. The less options that you have when it comes to life, you may struggle a bit. That's where the survival comes in. You don't want to survive in this world. You want to thrive. Despite all that is happening now, you can still thrive. Trust me, you can still thrive. You can. We have Sneaky here. That's all I know how to do is be sneaky. Now we have Pray in reverse. You see what I'm talking about? Black magic is in reverse. For the ones that resonate, because not everybody do black magic, so I want to make that clear. But for the ones that resonate, praying is in reverse, black magic is in reverse. So the moment that you saw past their illusions, this is when they want to start praying on your downfall. What? How does that even make sense, man? How does that make sense? So you're praying on the collective's downfall because they see through you? Well, they should never see past me, and they should never see my illusions, but they're the one that invited you to see the illusions. Let's break this down a bit. They're the one that invited you to see the illusions. Again, guilt made people tilt. And they were so guilty in regards to what they were trying to do to you that their guilt couldn't make them stick still or stay still or become stagnant. They're always watching and looking behind their back, trying to see who knows what they did and da 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 da. You don't live life like this. You don't. And if you do, hopefully you don't soon. Get out of that survival mode or get into the group. Listen to me. Hear me out. Shameless plug. This is the type of stuff we talk about in the group on Facebook. Get into the group. Wisdom Beyond Wounds. Yes, shameless plug. Get into the group. Wisdom Beyond Wounds. Yes, we do shadow work in here. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But the only thing I ask for you in order for you to be in that group is to engage, because the more you engage, the more help you will receive. Yeah, get into the group. Wisdom Beyond Wounds is on Facebook. All right now. There's a shadow prompt that has been placed in there every day. So you get a shadow prompt every morning so you can sit with yourself and you can do what you need to do, okay? It's not just for narcissists. It's many different types of traumas, period, okay? So we have suffering in silence here. They gambled and they lost. You ever seen somebody gamble a whole heap of money or finances, and the first thing they do is they put their head down in shame, they cry, they may yell, they may scream, whatever the case may be here, because they gambled against you. Yes, they did, and it was a big, huge gamble for them to do. Well, oh well. It is what it is. They're learning now. Now they're stuck. Okay. 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 Now they're stuck. Okay. They called judgment on you, and judgment was called on them. Okay. When you got out of judgment, because every day our actions are judged, however that resonates for everybody, because it's going to be slightly different. But your actions are judged. Yes, it is. And it decides in regards to if you're able to move forward, or you're going to regress back or stay in a standstill. That's up to y'all. They're stuck because they're suffering in silence. They're not even suffering in silence. They're suffering publicly. It's not silence anymore. It was never silence to begin with, because they were the one that was quick to go and run and tell people what you've done to them, and you didn't do anything to this person. That's the funny part. You didn't do anything to them. So suffering in public with emotional exhaustion, because the things that they said, just in general, what they said here, Now people are realizing that they're the one that's truly suffering, not you. Again, big difference between survival and thriving. Most people who survive only have words. You have more than words when it comes to thriving. There's so much more to life when it comes to thriving. And you're going to be there if you're not. Or if you are, you're going to know what I'm talking about or speaking about. So since they call judgment, you were weighed by your heart. They were weighed by their heart, by their actions, by their vibrations, by their frequency, however it resonates. And they don't like this heaviness of this feeling that they're feeling. Okay. If they were so resilient, they'd be able to bounce back from this. If they were so resilient. Thank you, Crystal. If they were so resilient, they would have been able to bounce back from this. Not so. I mean, going back to my notes. The shadow represents all the parts of themselves they've disowned. Shame, fear, inadequacy, envy, jealousy. Instead of confronting these shadows, they project them onto others. When they walk through this darkness, it's not a healing journey, but a fight to avoid accountability. The narcissist shadow becomes everyone else's fault but their own. So if they want to call judgment on you, who cares? Okay, let them call judgment. But the moment that they call judgment, just know they're going to be judged as well too. And they were. And then now they can't get out of it because they are silenced or they're suffering with emotional exhaustion because they weren't able to keep their illusions. Yes. Lone Wolf Rising states on TikTok, you have to experience it to learn. Yes, that's how resilience is born or formed. Sad to say, but that's what it is. Now, could they be resilient? Yeah, but they got to go through this first. They got to go through all this first, and it's a lot. And I don't see them, I don't see them being successful with this. I'm being for real with you. I'm so for real. We have 9 of Swords. Dang, 9 of Swords and a Knight of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is in reverse. And then you got the 5 of Cups. This doesn't look good for them. 9 of Swords, they're in their head. 9 swords in their head. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles here. They're scared out their mind. They're overthinking here because they are in regret in regards of the lack of choices that they don't have. 7 of Cups in reverse. 5 of Cups upright. What are we speaking about here? Like, no, for real. They regret what they've done. These people were moving like they are untouchable, that they could never be touched. Okay. Okay. That's fine. But judgment don't think so. Judgment don't think so, though. Also, the star and the world. This is you. This is you. When judgment was placed upon you, or we'll say dark shadows, or the dark night of the soul. I'll put it that way because there's many different aspects and, definitions, okay? So let's just say when you're in isolation mode or you had your dark night of the soul, that's when you were being judged. Yeah, that's the moment you were being judged. And the moment that you were able to get out of judgment is the moment where you realized that you were a star, a bright star, however that resonates for you. You were like, wait, You were able to sit down and to put all of the pieces together to make a bigger puzzle. And you were like, wow, oh, dang, that makes sense. So for them to again call upon this prayer here, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, but they're the one that's evil. They keep claiming they don't fear evil, but they can't even watch themselves in the mirror. And they're the most evil of them, evilest of them all when it comes to the evil things that they have done towards you. So why is it they can't look themselves in the mirror then if they fear no evil? Make it make sense. They fear themselves, and that's where the evil comes from. That's where the evil is emanating from or is exuding from. Make it make sense, man. Like, you said what? They're not afraid of evil, but they're running from evil themselves. Page of Cups is in reverse. Then the Chariot is also in reverse. So they're slam shut, halted, stuck. Trying to figure out how to get out of this here. Yeah, they're running from the law. It could be actual law or it could be spiritual laws. There are many different types of laws, but they're running from something. Shoot, they could be running from the law of themselves. They don't even know anything about themselves. They never read the pamphlet when it came to themselves. They never read their book in its entirety when it comes to themselves. They love to omit a lot of things when it comes to themselves because they feel that omitting most important facts about them is going to scare people away. And to wish harm on someone because you don't like them is the most silliest thing ever I've ever heard. You don't like the person, so you're going to wish harm on them? That's really weird and odd. And then when it flips back on, oh, well, the collective is doing this. What? What now? My goodness. Yeah, now they want to fight with you even more because they just know deep down in their heart that you're doing something to them. What are you doing to them? What? They called judgment on you. Judgment was called on them. They're fighting themselves here with the Five of Wands. Could be a fire sign, however it resonates. Yeah. Keith states on TikTok, the birth of a hater. Yeah. Yeah. Some people say if they can't beat you, join them. No, if you cannot beat me, you damn sure cannot join me. Why in the hell are you trying to beat me in the first place? Well, then you realize, and when I say me, collectively, generally speaking, and then when you realize that you can't beat me, now you want to join me? No, have to stay over there. You can't beat me, you damn sure can't join me. The hell? What the hell they talking about? Get your ass on somewhere. Man, make it make sense, please. Because that don't make no damn sense, child. Okay? We have vision in reverse. Mm-hmm. They didn't see this coming, which is very odd because you warned them that this was coming. You were the storm. Was it the calm before the storm? You were the calm before the storm. Yes, you were. They were the storm, but when you were around them or when they were around you, you were calm, if that makes sense, or you calmed them down, if that makes sense. You were the calm before the storm. They always had a storm brewing within themselves, always. But when you left, which was the calm, that's when the storm started to just completely out of control. So they talk about they didn't see it. They didn't know what's happening. They knew because you warned them. We have justice here. Yep. If they would have listened to what you had to say, they would have been getting justice too. But hey, maybe justice not for everybody. I don't know. I would love for that to be, but it don't look like it the way some of these people be acting out here. It don't look like it at all. Someone's watching African movies. Or you could be having a movie day today. You could be going to the movies, maybe a matinee, a lunch, or a noon matinee. Or maybe you prefer going to the movies like during the morning or afternoon times. You don't like nighttime movies. I get it. I understand. Someone's name is Lourdes. Lourdes? Lourdes, L-O-R-D-E-S or L-O-U-R-D-E-S, Lourdes. They sure did. So we have light here, a lantern here, and it's metastasizing or it is growing very quickly here. Yeah. They played with something that they had no knowledge of. Yeah, trickery is in reverse. They were tricking no one but themselves. Yep, and this is why they feel stuck now. Oh, well. Oh, well, that's all now. That's crazy. They want to call upon the shadows of death or calling upon it, and they can't even walk. They can't even walk in the shadows of death. They can't even walk in their ego death. It just doesn't make sense. How you calling upon something? Whatever. We have desire here, okay? It could be a cancer you're dealing with. You could be the cancer, they could be the cancer. Someone's born the 3rd month or the 3rd day of a month. Or your life path number may be 3. We have love here. Love is the strongest frequency or vibration that you can emit or that you can operate out of. And there are many different forms of love. There is. So strong 3, 33. You could be born, somebody could be born 1933, or someone could be 33, or maybe you have a child that's 33, however it resonates. But strong 3s, you can add that to 6. Somebody's life path number could be 33 or number 6. Someone's nickname is 6, or you could be watching Blossom. Her name was 6 on there. Or maybe you love the number 6. Maybe you feel lucky working with the number 6. So however it resonates. Or 6s follow you everywhere. This could be a strong confirmation for you, okay? All right, so we have vitality here. So that was Cancer or Libra. So however it resonates. And then we have vitality in reverse, 32. So something maybe traumatic or experience may have happened when you were between the ages of 30 to 33, because you have 30, 32, and 33. So something between 30 and 33. Maybe you had your awakening then, okay? But vitality is in reverse, and then this is a Taurus sign. So you could be a Taurus or they could be. And when you went through your dark night of the soul, everything was fine. It may have been hard, but you're still able to pass through or, get through it. That's the resilience coming in. But for them, it's like they're just stuck in this wormhole or this portal of nothingness. And they don't know how to get themselves out of the situation here. So the vitality here is we'll say the life force of them. They're just like sucking themselves dry, or because of the actions that they decided to take against themselves, they don't have the energy or the vitality to get through this. So they have to blame someone, and they're going to blame you because you were the one that got out of this. Does that make sense? Well, you must have did something for me to put me here. No, you didn't. That's the thing, collective. You did not, boo. You didn't. You didn't put them there. They put themselves there. Remember, this is a mathematical situation here. They were the problem. They brought the problem to you. You were the solution, and you ended it. What is the issue? It wasn't solving anything for you, so you end the equation. What's the issue? Ain't no way somebody bringing you a problem and expecting you to solve it. And then when you solve it in the way that you know or you see fit for yourself, they're upset. It's damn if you do it, damn if you don't, man. It's damn if you do or damn if you don't. Well. It's your fault. No, it's not, heifer. Then we have communication here. Communication. So someone can be born in February. This is Pisces. Okay, so take it how it resonates. It's in reverse though. I'm going to put it upright so you can see, because I'm getting a message surrounding this. You see the peas in the pod? Have you ever seen a pea grown by itself? I mean, yeah, initially, if you're growing peas, you can put one pea, but when you allow the pea to grow, it's going to metastasize in a very abundant way, right? So I'm going to correlate this to communication, even though it was in reverse here. The communication is very sparse when it comes to you. There's no communication at all. So they're trying to find a way where they can communicate with you here, and it's not going to work, okay? This is why they're reciting those prayers or the mantras or those affirmations to get themselves out of the trouble that they placed themselves in. And they had many opportunities to fix the situation, and they refused not to, okay? Any person, and I'm not trying to set, let me don't say that way. Just use your discernment when it comes to individuals that are living in survival. Not everyone that's living in survival is bad or negative. That's not the case. No, it's not the case. But majority of individuals that tend to live in survival tend to have the same outdated, worn out script when it comes to surviving. So just pay attention and be mindful, or use your discernment surrounding those type of individuals there, okay? Do they talk a fast game? Do they say it? They just say anything just to say it? Do they have the gift of gab? What exactly are they saying as they are speaking to you? Is it the truth? Is it the full truth? Is it a half truth? What are they saying? What are they doing? Are their actions adding up to what they're saying? You know what I mean? What are they doing? You don't have to even say anything. Just watch. Just blow, okay, and just, you know, do whatever you need to do decision-wise. But pay attention. Because some people that tend to live in survival, they're so tired of living in survival mode that they're willing to do anything to thrive. And sometimes anything, you know, you are the anything, if that makes sense. You have something, they don't have anything at all, or they have nothing at all. And you have something that can add to the anything, if that makes sense. Your nothingness started from something, you did. And you grew your something into something bigger, or to anything, however that resonates. So basically, what you do turns to gold. What you touch turns to gold. What you work on, who you work with, whatever, you are very abundant, opulent. Like there's not anything that you can't do. You can do it all, or some, or however it resonates. And they see that. Someone's name is Griffin or Griffith. Griffin or Griffith. Griffin. Griffith. 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 Someone's name is Maurice. Or Reese. Or it could be Reese's Pieces or Reese's Cups. Yeah, we have passion and ritual. Could be, these are both Leos. Okay? They lost the passion to ritualize, or they're losing the passion to keep moving forward or to keep going forward here because they don't have any vitality or they don't have the energy to keep moving forward. Where were they getting the energy from? You see how everything's coming back full circle already? Where were they getting the energy from? You. Your time, your essence, your patience, your compliments, your whatever. They can't get that anymore, so they don't have any vitality. None. Leo, strong Leo. This is why they lost faith. The only reason why, one of the reasons why they were praying is because they lost faith. They would not be praying if they never lost the faith. I mean, they never, that could be spun in many different ways. The faith was illusions is what it was. It was a false pretense. Let's look up faith. Let's look up the etymology of the word faith. Okay, etymology of the word faith is faithfulness to a trust or promise, loyalty to a person, honesty, truthfulness. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Faith also can represent a belief, trust, confidence, or pledge. Confidence in a person or thing with reference to truthfulness or reliability. Confidence in a person or thing with reference to truthfulness or reliability. What faith did they have? What? I'll wait. What faith did they have? Joe, get out of here. Oh, I don't believe in spirits. And I don't believe in witchcraft. And I don't believe in obia. And I don't believe in spirituality. But yet they doing it behind your back and trying to dig out your back behind your back. But they say they don't believe in it. Once the illusion clear, they doing, you're like, but I thought you said you didn't believe in it. You don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? That ain't true. You're crazy. It is true. Look what you're doing. But it's right there. That's not. Stop talking. You stop. That's how they beat y'all. It was. It was a necessary. It was a necessary ending, man. What else you gonna do? You have to, man. It's funny because it's like, but it's right there, and they're like, no, it's not, and you're like, yes, it is. Oh, no, it's not. Yes, it is, and then they all fall out. They're like, oh, that's not mine. Oh, that's yours. Man, get the hell out of here with that weird stuff, child. We got victim mentality here. Necessary ending. This had to end in this way because they wanted it this way. Yes, they did. They wanted things to end. Just because someone says something, and I'll put it this way. Endings can come in many different ways, many different aspects. They wanted your end, or they wanted you to end, or they wanted to end you. Well, you got stuff to do. You're not here to be ended this early on in your path of your journey. You have a lot of things that you need to do for yourself and for also, the collective, humanity, whatever. And that means being a great doctor, a nurse, a baker, a mechanic, a school teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, whatever your purpose is, you have stuff to do. There was never no ending for you, but there's an ending for them, which is why they have victim mentality. Y'all got stuff to do. Okay? a librarian, I don't know, a violinist, whatever your passion is, you need to operate in your passion, boo. It's time for you to step foot in your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is yet, you soon will learn what your purpose is. You can even find it out on your birth chart. Yes, you can. I don't remember all of the coordinates surrounding that because I'm still learning, birth charts and all that stuff too. But I'm sure you could probably do like a YouTube search and an astrologer will give you that information. But anywho, you can find out what your purpose is within your birth chart. Yes, you can. We have ancient history and support. See? The history of them requires support of others. And this is what they were trying to hide. They said that they never received support from other people. Yes, they did. Yes, they did, because they made sure and they positioned themselves or propositioned themselves to be able to receive support in a subtle way from others, whether it's actual physical support, a financial support, a subtle support, a spiritual support, an energetic support. There are many ways to support something, someone, or someplace, somewhere. Yes, it is. Yes. The ancient history surrounding them is that, yes, they inconspicuously were getting support from others quietly. And in the moment that you saw, you pulled away. Oh, that ain't true. Da, 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 da. Okay, whatever. They don't make sense, is what I'm saying. They don't. They procrastinate. That's all they do. They don't make sense, man. Yeah, challenges. Now they feeling challenged. Okay, well, they're the one that challenged themselves. How are you going to challenge yourself? And then when the challenge finally comes to show you itself, you can't handle the challenge that you challenge yourself to? Come on, man. Make that make sense. You can't be out here praying on someone's downfall and thinking they deserve something that they don't deserve. And then when it finally shows up on your doorstep, a big pile of hot, watery elephant shit appears on your doorstep, you can't handle it. Karmic. Risk versus rewards. Risk versus rewards. You were the reward. Yeah, you had some risky things that you may have been placed in, or you may have to experience. But once you realize that you outweighed the risk, or you were able to pass the risk, you were rewarded. Yeah. They wanted to risk your rewards, though. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get to your rewards. And they challenged themselves by trying to get you to procrastinate so that way you can't see what they're trying to do. If at any point in time someone tries to get you away from you, they're trying to challenge you to go against yourself. Bad move. Never, ever, ever, ever go against yourself. Ever. I don't give a damn who it is. Nobody. Don't ever go against yourself for anyone. Because that makes you more susceptible to more risk versus rewards. And your rewards were made for you, however way that resonates for you. Your rewards were made specifically for you, which is why it's for you, which is why it's innately embedded with you, because it's within you. It's not out of you, it's within you. Lack of accountability. So because they refuse to take accountability for what they've done here, yet again, because of the external influences, the different types of spirits that I've explained earlier in this read, they were more, we'll say, susceptible, or they confirm, or more so validated the challenges of the spirits that they called upon. Yes, because they were the one that were doing it first. People can call spirits on you for whatever reason. And just because they call a spirit upon you doesn't mean it's going to attach to you or is going to connect to you. Because if you are strong-minded in your mind, and if you're not doing the things that they're doing out there, it's not going to affect you. It's not. I can go around people that drink and smoke or whatever, and I won't put any of that drinking and all that smoking. I'm like, no, I'm good. And I can be there and sit. I don't fall pressure to peer pressure is basically what I'm saying. And when I say I, generally, collectively speaking, y'all don't succumb to peer pressure. So it's not going to affect you. And even if it did, maybe you did went through some form of peer pressure surrounding this, because everybody had many different walks of life. You were able to still get out of the situation. That is where the resilience is born. So despite whatever experience that you've experienced or traumatic experience that you experienced, you still were able to create resilience from it. I think you a badass. When it comes to that, not a lot of people can have resilience like you can. Man, you kidding me? You shitting me? That's what the New Yorkers saying. I love me some New York. Hey, New York, you shitting me? No, for real. You shitting me? That's where the resilience was born, boo. And you should be very proud, despite whatever circumstance that you endured or you experienced, you went through. Stand up and take a bow. And watch. Just watch. Just, man. Unprepared. Yeah, they were unprepared for you not being in this whole thing here. Misread signs. They misread all of the signs when it came to you. They sure did. Again, the end of it all, they have no one to blame but themselves. That's it. That's all. All right. We have Leo. Strong Leo. Okay. We have Cancer. We have Sagittarius. Taurus, Pisces, Gemini. There are going to be a lot of situations where you're going to be placed or test in regards to enabling or enable. And sometimes, some cases, when it comes to these tests that is given to you by the universe, God, spirit, however y'all do y'all thing here, that energy wants to see if you're able to do it on your own in some cases. And in some cases, if you're able to do it on your own, you're going to be rewarded handsomely because you're able to figure it out on your own. They don't know how to figure out anything on their own, which is why they adopt or adapt a type of method here that they need something or someone or some place to continue to enable them for their survival of support. No, get rid of the surviving, get rid of the support. They don't have anything. Does that make sense? They don't have a darn thing. It was all false. We have Aquarius. It was all farce. F-A-R-C-E. We have Pisces. And Virgo. Okay, so however resonates in your story, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to get into the group if you're very serious, because we are very serious within that group, seriously. But if you're open to being in the group with us, it's called Wisdom Beyond Wounds. I just ask for you guys to engage within the group, okay? It's on Facebook. If you're interested, you know where we are. We are always in there talking and chatting it up and just doing shadow work. Basically, it's a community setting that I have created to help you guys and myself as well too, because I do my shadow work in there as well too, to help you guys get out of any stagnancy or stillness that you might be in at the moment here. Okay, so come prepared. Don't come in there and lollygag. That's not a place to lollygag. Come in and do what you need to do and go out there and be the best person that you can be, that I know that you can be. All right. So again, thank you so much for your immense support. This book is readily available for purchase on Amazon. And also my birthday is coming up. So if y'all feel inclined to get me something, definitely check out my wish list. It is on Amazon. All right. Or sorry, take that back. It's not on Amazon. It's on YouTube. Love you guys. Be safe. Take care. Go out there. Be freaking great. Be freaking phenomenal, because you owe that to yourself. And I will see y'all on the next one. Take care. Thank you, TikTok. Love you guys. YouTube. Mwah. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one.